Thank you. I may please the court. Investigator Sparkman, I just want to finish up with asking you a couple of questions about the WhatsApp messages that you testified about at great length yesterday. And you testified about how you collected and put into a binder all of the WhatsApp messages between Zachary Hughes and John Mello. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you said it was a rather large binder of text messages once you got those all.
It was a lot of messages, yes.
Isn't it true that the overwhelming majority of those messages come after the middle of April when Aida Mello was taken away from John Mello and returned to the States to be with his mother?
I don't know if the majority of them or not. I'd have to look at the book again to refresh my memory on the dates.
Okay. And you talked a lot about interpretations about different messages and what you believe they meant. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I would like to show you one of the messages on State's Exhibit number 186. And are you? Okay. All right, are you able to read that?
I could read that, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is, again, State's Exhibit 186, and I just want to point your attention to the one that's the second message on the left on that page. And I'm not going to ask you to try to decipher everything about that, but in that message, we see, on the first line, we see the name Aida, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then at the end of that line, you see the word doomed. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So one interpretation of that message could be, and do you remember the date of that?
Could you please place it back up there? The 13th, October 13th.
And one interpretation of that message could be that John Mello believed that his daughter, now being returned to the States to live with Christina Parcell, meant that she is doomed.
I think there's way too many words in there for me to say that. I will agree that those two words are in there.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right, any redirect from the stand?
Yes, Your Honor.
A couple questions. Mr. Moore asked you about the coroner's assistance in this particular case.
Yes, sir.
Do they respond to all homicide investigations?
They do.
And sometimes do they assist y'all in various duties?
They do.
And don't they have their independent investigative authority under statute as well?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Moore discussed the clone phone that Brad Post had. All right, so explain to this jury Christina Parcell's phones that she had.
So the one we refer to as the clone phone, that's a phone that Mr. Post kept that he basically signed into her Apple, using her Apple ID and password when he says cloned. So everything that she does on that phone is not cloned. So he'd be able to see the stuff typically that Apple backs up, like if you restored your phone from iCloud, emails, contacts, certain text messages and phone calls. That's how that phone was set up.
And he also had Life 360 on her as well.
Yes, he had the Life 360 app, and she was a part of his group. They could see each other's locations.
And did you review the downloads of the phones of Christina Parcell?
Yes, sir.
And you reviewed all of them?
Yes, sir.
All right. In any of those phones, is there any communication with Zach Hughes?
No, sir.
Is there any email, text message, WhatsApp, Signal, whatever, any kind of application that you saw, any conversations with
No,
anything
sir.
related to Zach Hughes?
No, sir.
All right. They asked you about Donna Gorman.
Yes.
And so, when did Riley Stokes speak to Donna Gorman?
I believe it was the day of the incident, the 13th.
And at that time, had y'all located, or did y'all have possession of the photos of a suspect leaving on a bicycle at Cambridge neighborhood?
We knew of the footage, but we weren't able to get possession of that until the following day.
And then Master Deputy Wolf testified that he went back on the 19th and spoke to her.
Yes.
And you recall what his testimony was? Are you aware that he showed her a photo of a bike?
I don't recall if he showed her a photo of the bike or not. I don't believe so.
Okay. And so, and then 3 years later, are you working with the Solicitor's Office on preparing this case?
I am.
And did you make a decision that you needed to talk to Donna Gorman?
Yes.
And when you went out there and talked to her, did you take down what she told you in a report?
Yes, sir.
And did you show her a copy of the individual on a bike?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever show her any photos of Zach Hughes?
I did not.
They asked you about the timeline on Zach Hughes' phone, and they said from 7:42 to 11:34, there was no activity on the phone.
That's right.
But you know that 7:42, he unlocks and plugs the phone.
Yes, sir.
Now, can he do that in his car?
He can.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Angry Cross.
Just a few follow-up questions. What is Life 360?
Life 360 is an application that you can download on your smartphone, and you can invite people to join your circle. You see each other's locations.
So it's just sharing your location with other persons?
Yes.
Is there anything else significant to that? I'm just not aware of Life 360, so I just.
That's the extent of what I know about it, just
Okay.
locations.
So there's no way to share information, texts, file sharing, anything like that through Life 360, is there?
Not that I'm aware of.
So the clone phone, again, that you talked about, the way that was cloned was just through sharing Apple IDs, right?
Yes, sir.
And Bradley Post wouldn't give you that Apple ID, would it?
He didn't initially.
So you said Investigator Wolf went back and spoke to Donna Gorman also?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
I don't remember the exact date, but it was a few days after Investigator Stokes.
Okay, so before you met with Brad Post on the 19th, you think?
I don't recall. It was close to that time.
Within a week or so of the incident?
Yes, I'd say that it's.
So neither Riley Stokes nor Investigator Wolf came back and said, we have a person here who says they saw the face of the person on the bike and thinks they can identify.
That's right.
So nobody ever went out there, because she never told you she could, to show her a photo lineup, right?
That's right.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Any reread? Correct.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you may step down. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the state would call Dr. Claire Rose.